This is impossible to accomplish. Even if I put two members of a couple, a man and a woman, and they talk for the next 80 years, they discuss for the next 80 years, what is the meaning of love? It would still be something extraneous. They would still not be discussing the experience of love. How does she experience love? How does he experience love? The physiological manifestations may be the same: heartbeat, blood pressure, pupil dilation, but that's it. What's the subjective experience? What does love mean to her in the deepest, most profound sense? How does he go through love? How does he become through love? There's no way to communicate this. We are utterly isolated solipsistic islands. We are sheep passing at the night, in the night, and we blow our foghorns, and we call this love and communication. And then we're gone. Then we're gone. Language, and by extension art, culture, they serve to introduce us to other points of view. What is it like to be someone else? To paraphrase Thomas Nagel. By providing a bridge between the subjective inner experience and the objective words, images, sounds, language facilitates social exchange and interaction. It's useful. It is a dictionary which translates one's subjective private language to the coin of the public medium. Knowledge and language are thus the ultimate social glue, though both are based on approximations, guesses, and frankly, lies, confabulations. I refer you to George Steiner's After Babel. I had the privilege of spending 3 years with him in Geneva. Amazing intellectual, true intellectual, old-fashioned type, old school. Whereas the intersubjective agreement regarding measurements and observations concerning external object is verifiable or falsifiable using independent tools. So, when we talk about objective things, we can conduct lab experiments, we can conduct studies, and we can reach an intersubjective agreement on the size of this laptop. We can even, to some extent, reach an intersubjective agreement on how big Sam Vakni's nose is. But can we reach a true intersubjective agreement about whether my nose is ugly, about how you feel about my nose, what sensations my nose gives you when it's used appropriately, your emotions, your experiences? Can you communicate these? Of course not. None of these are verifiable or falsifiable using independent tools. I cannot construct a laboratory experiment to tell me how you really feel about my nose. And even if you report how you feel about my nose, I don't know how it feels to you. The interpretation of empathy, this second kind of intersubjective agreement, is dependent upon introspection. Upon introspection, it's an assumption that identical words used by different subjects still possess identical meaning, and it's a fallacious. This assumption is not falsifiable or verifiable. It's totally fallacious. It's neither true nor false. It has no truth value. It is a probabilistic statement, but without probability distribution or actually even a probability object. It's a meaningless statement. To say what I feel is what you feel, what I think is what you think, these are meaningless statements. Empathy, therefore, is meaningless. It's meaningless because it relies on a confabulation of communication. It relies on a total misunderstanding. It relies on confusing words with essence, confusing reports with experience, confusing objective with subjective. No one can access your subjective world. You are trapped. You are trapped there, and no one can ever get to you. We are all hostages of our minds. We are the ghosts in our own machines. In human speak, If you say that you are sad and I empathize with you, it means that we have an agreement. I regard you as my object. You communicate to me a property of yours, sadness. And this communication triggers in me a recollection of what is sadness or what it is to be sad. I say that I know what you mean. I say that I know how you feel because I have been sad before. I know what it is like to be sad. I empathize with you. We agree about being sad. We have an intersubjective agreement. But alas, such an agreement is meaningless. We cannot yet measure sadness, quantify it, crystallize it, pulverize it, access it in any way from the outside, measure it, and most importantly, experience it. We are totally and absolutely reliant on your introspection and my introspection. There is no way anyone can prove that my sadness is even remotely similar to your sadness. I may be feeling or experience something that you might find hilarious and not sad at all. This happens a lot, by the way. Someone is communicating some tragic experience and someone else finds it very funny. Still, I call it sadness and I empathize with you, regardless of the internal content. Encyclopedia Britannica. Young children's growing awareness of their own emotional states, characteristics, and abilities leads to empathy. In other words, the ability to appreciate the feelings and perspectives of others. Empathy and other forms of social awareness are in turn important in the development of a moral sense. Another important aspect of children's emotional development is the formation of their self-concept or identity, their sense of who they are and what their relation to